So today I'm going to be showing you how to get this full look using airbrush makeup. So if you are interested, please keep watching.
Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and conceal my blemishes and imperfections on my skin. So here I'm just starting with my dark under eye circles. Now I'm just slightly pulling back on the lever sporadically, and my compressor dial here is at 10 o'clock. I find that it's easier to conceal blemishes and avoid hot spots when the compressor speed is low, so I like to keep mine at about 10 o'clock when I'm concealing. And here I'm just using dark golden beige, which is my normal foundation shade color, to conceal all my blemishes. Now if you are only interested in the eye look in this video, I will have a link to a video that just shows the eye look, so that'll be in the description box below if you need it. Now for this look, the next step I'm going to do is apply blush. Now I'm just going to go in circular motions just on my cheekbone. I want to start in the center of my cheekbone and then kind of drag it back and then drag it forward just to get a nice evenly blended flush of color on my cheeks. So I'm just going in small circular motions. Now I did turn the compressor dial up to about 12 o'clock for this, and the color I'm using here is just bronze rose. Now once I'm satisfied with the amount of blush I applied, I'm going to go ahead and contour. And for this I'm just using light bronze, and I'm applying that to the bottom of my cheekbones. And then I'm also going to drag that up to my temples as well, just to slim, my face down a little bit and also add some depth to it, a little bit more life to it before I apply my foundation. And then I'm also going to make sure to add some to my jawline as well, just to slim that down also. Now, you can either do your blush and bronzer after you do your foundation, but I just prefer to do it before I do my foundation. It just gives more of a natural finish. Now it's on to my air shadow. So here I'm taking Glitz and Glam, and I'm just applying it as a light layer on the inner corner of my eyelid, and I'm blending it toward the end of the mid lid. And I'm just going to go ahead and keep this layer a little bit thin. The metallics in this layer and the shimmer in it is very fine, so it'll have that dimension to it as the light hits my eyes. I'm also going to go ahead and apply this shade as a brow bone highlight, and then I'm also going to apply it to my tear ducts as well, just a little bit heavier because I really want my tear ducts to glow. And remember, after doing, your blush and bronzer, to lower your compressor dial down to 10 o'clock when you're doing anything on your eyes, just because it's more of a sensitive area. You don't want to have that high air pressure blowing on your eyes. Okay, now I'm just going to go ahead and make sure to feather Glitz and Glam up to my transition, just so that all of the colors to come will blend nicely and evenly on my eyelid. So the next shade I'm going to apply is Fifth Avenue, and I'm going to go ahead and use my shadow shield just because I want this eye look to be more like sharp and defined. So I'm just going to go ahead and create an initial outline on the outer V of my eye using the shadow shield. And then once I'm done creating that outline into my transition, I'm going to go ahead and begin shading. Now I'm still going to use a shadow shield because what I want to do is create more depth in the outer V. So to do that with this color, I'm just going to continue to add layers on the outer V of my eye. So once the outline's all done and complete, now it's time for shading. So here I'm just slightly pulling back on the lever to release small amounts of pigment, and I'm going to stay maybe about an inch away from my eye just to widen up the spray on the outer corner, and then gradually get closer to my eye as I move in closer toward the inner corner of my eye. Just because I don't want the spray to be too wide, because I don't want to cover the Glitz and Glam on the inner corner. I really want that to be glowy and vibrant. I'm also going to be taking Fifth Avenue and dragging it down to my lower lash line. So what you want to do is just start by adding color on the base of the outer V, and then just drag that down to the lower lash line. Now you don't have to go too far in. I'm probably stopping in about the middle of my lower lash line because I am going to apply another color there. Now when you're freehanding it, it is hard to get a very good concentrated amount of color just because it's hard with your eyes watering and everything. So I do recommend, if you're not used to the air hitting your eyes or it still bothers you, to use the shadow shield. You'll be able to get a more concentrated amount of color and without overspray. So definitely recommend doing that. The next color I'm going to apply here, I'm just going to apply it to the outer corner of my eyelid and blend it up. Now this color is a mixture of Party Queen and City Lights. I used 2 drops of Party Queen to 2 drops of City Lights, and I just back bubbled to mix them together, and it gave me this really pretty purple reddish color tone that I thought would be perfect for depth in this eye look. So I'm just going to continue to build on this color. As you can see, I'm pretty close to my eyelid just because I want this color to be very concentrated. And I also want to control the spray as much as I can. Now, remember when you spray out and you notice that the color is piling up and it looks very dewy, just go ahead and blow some of the air over it and that'll dry it right up. Otherwise, here I'm just taking this into like almost a C shape, folding it into the natural fold of my eyelid. So you'll see me drag it toward the inner corner of my eyelid, just focusing on the natural fold. I'm also going to apply this color to my lower lash line, and using the shadow shield is a good way to apply it to the lower lash line because it just ensures that it's going to be as concentrated as you can get it, and it also protects your under eye area from any overspray. Now the next step is airliner. So if you're unfamiliar with airliner, I will have links to the videos that I've made on how to do your airliner utilizing the different stencils in the description box below. But here I'm just using Onyx and my cat eye end stencil. Next step is foundation. So here I'm taking a mixture of C130 and C125, and then I'm just applying that to my face like so. I'm going in small circular motions around my face. Make sure not to forget to cover your ears and the jawline. Don't forget to do a little bit under your chin and down your neck, just to make sure that everything's evenly blended. Now, my compressor dial here is at 12 o'clock. Don't forget to turn the pressure back up for this step here, because you really want to make sure that you have the right amount of pressure when, covering your face. So here I'm just going to continue to take it in small circular motions around my whole face. Now you'll notice I'm going to be concentrating more on the lower part of my face just because my forehead has a pretty good tan on it, so I don't want to add too much color to that. So I'm just going to keep the coverage pretty sheer up there and then focus on my jawline, which needs a little bit more color. Now the next step is brows. So here I'm just going to go ahead and fill in my brows using the brow stencil that came in my personal pro kit. The shade I'm using for my brows is Light Smoke, and I did turn my compressor dial down to 10 o'clock just because I find that the colors are easier to blend on a lower pressure. So I'm just using it at 10 o'clock, and I'm just lightly pulling back on the lever the same way that I would shade in my air shadow. Now with the eyebrow stencils, it might not be the perfect fit for your face on its own. So what you want to do is just utilize it by section. So do the front section and then do the curve, and then even move it up to do the end section of the eyebrow. You just want to make sure that you utilize it to the brow shape that you want. Next is applying lip color. So here I'm using my lip stencil just to create that very defined Cupid's bow or V on my upper lip. And then I'm just going to go ahead and freehand around the edges. Now my lips don't really have a defined shape, so I really like using the lip stencils because it gives that defined shape. It's almost like it gives the illusion of having a lip liner, so I really like that aspect of it, but you can always freehand it if you like. Now here I'm just going to go ahead and continue shading, and I believe the color I'm using on my lips now is City Lights, and it's a very nice pink color with of course a little bit of a metallic hue. It's not as bad as you think, and I definitely love it as a lip color. So I'm just going to go ahead and use the shadow shield to protect my chin from any overspray, and then just continue shading on my lower lip. Now this color is just too beautiful to not use on my cheeks for just an added pop of shimmer and dimension. It's almost like a luminizer, so I'm just going to go ahead and apply this to my cheekbones and blend back over my blush. And I'm just using the remainder of product that I have left in my cup from the City Lights on my lips. Now next, to give my lips a touch of gloss, I'm just going to go ahead and apply Moist and Dewy. Now I am going to go ahead and use the shadow shield just to protect my lips from any overspray. Now this could make you look pretty oily, and I have pretty oily skin, so I want to make sure that I do protect my chin and around my mouth, of course, from any overspray from the Moist and Dewy. Okay, and then I'm just going to take whatever left over moist and dewy and apply it to under my eye area because that tends to get dry throughout the day, and then just over my cheekbones for a little bit of an added glow. After applying my favorite mascara, this is the finished look. Thank you so much for watching, and please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.